Hi, welcome to video two, episode two of this series of my uh, journey of grief and healing after losing a child. So, for those that maybe haven't seen the first video, my wife's daughter Blakely passed away almost 10 years ago now. She was about a year and a half. And one of the things that I did to help me work through the grief and heal was I wrote a bunch of songs about her. And I wrote a full album, 10 songs. And so each episode is going to be, we're going to talk about and listen to a couple of clips from each song from the album. So this is song number 2 called Life and Death. And this is probably my second favorite song on the album. It's kind of depressing, just as a warning. But the theme of this song is looking forward to death and reunion with that loved one that's passed on before you, while trying to also live life and be happy, and kind of that seeming conflict between those two things. The first couple months after Blakely passed away were definitely the most difficult. It was really hard to want to be alive, to be honest. I never came even close to, ending my own life, but I definitely didn't want to be alive sometimes. And it was really difficult. And that's essentially what this song is about, is looking forward to eventually being reunited with her again. So writing these songs really helped me to process those emotions and get through them, get to the point where I am today, where I genuinely am happy and love life. And although I still miss Blakely, I still look forward to being with her again someday. I'm in a good place. So let me just share my screen here really fast, and we'll listen to a couple of parts of this song. So the guitar parts here, a couple of the favorite guitar parts of mine that I've ever come up with. So I have one panned all the way to the left and one to the right. That the one on the left is finger picking, and the one on the right is playing the same part but with a guitar pick. So here's how they sound together. And then here's just the finger picking part. And then just the guitar pick. And I thought they blended really well together. I really liked how that turned out with those two parts mixing and blending together. Here's the first verse, talking about the struggle of not always wanting to be alive and having good days and bad days, and kind of that roller coaster after losing a child.
Some days I feel alive, on others I'm just waiting to die. It's not that I don't want to live, but sometimes I feel I have nothing to give.
And then this song is one of the few on the album that has both a mandolin and a ukulele part. If I remember right, I feel like they're playing the same thing maybe, or harmonizing with each other. Let's find out. I can't remember. So yeah, they're harmonizing this lead part. Here's what that sounds like with the whole. And I love that line. It's not death that I fear, just how I'll get there. I've never really been afraid of death, at least not since I was a little kid. I think part of that is my faith in God, my belief in the afterlife. I actually look forward to seeing what comes next. And of course, I want to get old before I die and have a full life. But that really encapsulates that feeling that I've had even before Blakely passed away, of not really being afraid of death, just maybe how I'll die, or what's going to lead up to that. Wanting to make sure that when that day does come, that I feel good about the life that I've lived. And I also just want to solo those two rhythm guitar parts. I love the chords right here in this little pre-chorus. They really kind of, this chord gives a really clashy feeling, kind of a dissonance that I think really fits the song well. Yeah, love those chords. I don't even know what the chord is. I can't remember off the top of my head. I'd have to figure it out. So that song goes through that feeling of, or expresses that feeling of, looking forward to that day. And then the last part, the outro, really is maybe one of my favorite parts on the whole album. I love the lines. I'll play it. It repeats the lines twice. We're just going to listen to the first half of it. And here we go.
And in the end, when I see you again, death will cease to be my enemy and become my friend.
So, in case you couldn't understand what I was singing, the lines are, and in the end, when I see you again, death will cease to be my enemy and become my friend. I really feel like death is hard only for those of us that haven't died yet. I truly believe that when we do die, we're going to see that it's just a step to the next part of life. And right now, death kind of feels like an enemy to those of us that are still alive. But I think when we experience it, when we get to that point, that reunion with those that have passed on before us is going to be beautiful. So I look forward to that. And then one thing I have, these little small parts at the end of some of the songs. There's kind of two different things. The first one that's in the end of 4 of songs have this little piano part. And where this came from was shortly after Blakely passed away, I saw a few different videos on YouTube that I thought were really cool where people would make a picture with MIDI. So, for example, if we look at the piano part here, this doesn't present a picture at all, but people would take the notes and make some sort of picture with them and then play how it sounded. I feel like there's more than just the piano showing here. Maybe not. That's a lot of notes. So I did that with a picture of Blakely's face, and then I uploaded it to YouTube. I'll put the link in the description. But this is about a quarter of that track that I made, or that song that I made with MIDI of Blakely's face, and I called it Angel Face. Here's what it sounds like. It's really quiet, but the album ends with the final section of that, and it was just a way of adding kind of almost like a little Easter egg at the end of some of the songs, and something to encapsulate or kind of cap off the album, the very end of it. Basically audio that represented her angelic face. So that is it for this episode. This whole album is going to be released on July 10th, which is the 10-year anniversary of Blakely's passing. You can pre-order it, and that information will be in the description below as well. 25% of any profit that I make from streaming or purchases will go towards the research of SIDS and SUDC. I think I explained this in the last video, but SUDC just means sudden unexplained death in childhood. It's basically the same as SIDS, but after a year old. My goal is to help research and figure out why babies and children sometimes just die in their sleep for no expected reason. hopefully we get to the point where we can decrease the frequency that happens, decrease the amount of deaths in infants and children that just don't seem to make sense. So 25% of any profit I make will go toward that. Would appreciate any comments. If there's any song in particular that you have that's helped you get through a difficult time, would love to hear that in the comments. And we'll see you in the next video where we'll be talking about track 3, which is called Absence.
I'll wait.